Before you touch a peptide, the checklist that you need to know about. If you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s and you're peptide curious, before you spend $1, before you inject anything, before you order a stack from a clinic or a website, you need one thing first, a real checklist. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact 3D plus 3S plus 3M steps I want every midlife man or woman to go through before they touch a peptide. If your clinic is skipping these, that's a red flag. Hey, I'm Dr. Rajka. I'm a triple board certified physician in family medicine, integrative medicine, and functional medicine. I run Simply Health Institute outside of Chicago. In fact, this is my office here. Most of the patients I see are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. They're tired. They're heavier than they want to be. They're not sleeping, brain foggy, and they don't want to spend their wealth on their health. I created my 3D protocol, which actually includes 6 other steps after almost 3 decades of my own fatigue and thousands of patient cases. As usual, this video is for educational purposes only. I'm not giving you personal medical advice. I'll share my framework and my patient's report, but you have to decide with your own clinician what's right for you. First, I want to talk about why a peptide checklist matters. Right now, peptides are everywhere. They're clinic menus, they're on podcasts, they're all over social media. The message is you're tired, gaining weight, aging. That is backwards. Peptides are signals. They're tools. They're not a plan. If your energy is low, your sleep is broken, your weight is creeping up, your body is telling you a story. A peptide can't read that story. A proper evaluation can. That's why before I even consider peptides, I walk patients through my protocol. The 3Ds, diet and nutrients, digestion, detox. The 3Ss, sleep, stress, sex or movement. The 3Ms, meaning in life, mindset, and time management. Now let's go through those briefly as a checklist. The 3Ds, once again, they're diet, digestion, detox. First question I ask is, are you actually fed? We look at a patient's protein intake. Most midlife adults are under eating protein. I often aim for about 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight per day, or at least 100 grams per day. More if you're losing muscle and less if you have kidney disease. Is your blood sugar spiking and crashing? Many people do better under 100 grams of carbs, less if they're insulin resistant. I say eat a balanced plate for a balanced blood sugar. I have patients look at, are they eating 8 to 10 servings of plant-based foods daily, or at least 35 different plant-based foods per week? Are they adding fiber, prebiotics, probiotics? Do you feed your microbiome? I use something called the task method. First, my patients track, then they add, then they subtract, and when they introduce, they learn what to keep. We have them remove inflammatory foods for 21 days to see what they react to. On top of food, we look at nutrient deficiencies. I run a full panel of nutrients on all of my patients. You don't have the right nutrients, you can't make energy, and no peptide will fix that. For digestion, you're not what you eat, you're what you digest and absorb. Now, here's the checklist I have my patients go through. Are you having at least one good bowel movement a day that looks like a smooth snake? Not pellets, not water. Do you have gas, bloating, heartburn, food sitting in your stomach? These can all point to issues with stomach acid, enzymes, bile, or bugs that shouldn't be there. I use a 5R framework. Remove the foods and bugs, replace the things that are deficient, repopulate with probiotic foods and targeted probiotics, repair that intestinal lining. There's so many things that can work here. Rebalance the sleep, modify stress, movement. Again, we fix digestion and then we look at advanced tools. The third D is detox, the non-woo kind. You're constantly exposed to contaminants in water, indoor and outdoor air pollution, pesticides like plastics and personal care products and cleaning products. Your liver can either process and excrete these or store them in fat, brain, bone, or your liver. We look at the water you're drinking. Is it filtered? How about the air you breathe? Do you have a filtration system at home, especially in the bedroom? Are you eating mostly organic? What products are you putting on your face and body every day? We also look at your protein status because you need protein to detox. And these juice detoxes with no protein, usually it's a bad idea. Most people feel worse because you need protein to detox. The 3 S's, we take a look at sleep, stress, and sex, which is a placeholder for movement. When it comes to sleep, if you're not sleeping, I can't help you. You're going to be chronically inflamed. Lose weight, may not be able to do it if you're stressed. I check. How many hours are you actually sleeping? Most people are in bed 8 hours, but they don't sleep the whole time. Do you wake up feeling refreshed? Is your timing consistent when you go to bed and wake? Are you getting exposure to morning light? How about blue light at night? All these can disrupt sleep. Could you have sleep apnea? So before using peptides, I have all my clients move towards 7 to 9 hours of real sleep with a healthy circadian rhythm. Now, stress. No one can remove all the stressful events we're exposed to, but we can change how long your body stays in fight or flight and how quickly you bounce back to baseline. We look at your current stress load, past trauma, and adverse childhood events. And then what tools are you utilizing? Do you use breath work? Do you use biofeedback to control heart rate variability? Or are you just chronically using why? So we put a plan in place for stress modification before we talk peptides. Now that third S is movement. I use sex as a placeholder, but sex is important for healthy aging. Now after 40, you naturally lose weight. If you don't train, you can become frail. We ask, are you exercising at all? Or are you overdoing it with high intensity workouts and feeling worse? Do you have 2 to 3 days a week of resistance training on top of cardio? How do you recover after you exercise? What is your protein intake like? Now, peptides claim to help with body composition, which is very different in a body that's strongly fed and undergoes strength training. So you want to keep that in mind. That last set of steps is the 3 M's. So meaning in life, time management, and meditation. When it comes to meaning, do you have a reason to get healthy? Is it your grandkids, travel? Is it some sort of mission in life? Do you align with people with a clear purpose? Because those are the ones that do better in life. Do you secretly tell yourself, I'm broken, nothing will fix this, nothing ever works for me, I've never lost weight? How about time management? Most people are overscheduled, myself included. I actually do an inventory every quarter. If your calendar is chaos, you don't sleep, you don't move, well, it's going to be really hard to reset all of these imbalances. Now, you don't have to be perfect, but before you use the advanced tools, you do need to take some steps to improve your foundation. So what are some red flags in peptide clinics? They lead with the peptide menu before asking you any of these real questions about sleep, stress, movement, or diet. They don't order appropriate labs or review the labs you already have. They can't tell you what the peptide is actually targeting. There's no measurement plan beyond how you look and feel. And no one mentions muscle, bone, or long-term health. If that's what you're seeing, I think twice about working with that clinic. If you're already on peptides and you're watching this thinking, did I blow it? Take a breath, relax. You don't have to panic, but you do need to upgrade the process. Here are 3 questions to bring to your clinician. Can we step back and look at my diet, digestion, and detox? How about my sleep and stress and movement? Is there a framework we can use? What exact change are we hoping this peptide will support? How will we measure that objectively and subjectively? What's our time frame and exit strategy? And how are we protecting my muscle and bones and long-term health while we do this? If you get clear, thoughtful answers, you're on the right path. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Peptides are not the starting line. They live in the deploy layer of a much bigger ecosystem. 3 Ds, 3 S's, 3 M's. If you found this helpful, hit the subscribe and share this with someone in their 40s, 50s, or 60s. If you live in the following states, Illinois, Washington, California, Massachusetts, and want to take a deep dive at your fatigue, weight, sleep, hormone, muscles, bones, and toxins, my team and I reserve a limited number of executive edge strategy sessions. There's a link in the description. You simply answer a few questions and set up a time to speak to a member of my staff who will walk you through the process. In the next video, the most common peptide and fatigue questions I see online is what I'm going to walk you through. See you next time.